Hi, it's Mike Ferry. Welcome to Mike Ferry TV. It is the week of May 26th. Where has the year gone? I said to some people yesterday, every day, every week, every month, every year goes by faster and faster for you and I, which means we have to get a better grip on what we're doing every day to maximize whatever production, performance, income we want. Gosh darn it, we're almost through half the year. Are you halfway to the goals you've set? I hope so. If not, we're going to look carefully every week at what we have to do to make that happen. Okay, about 3 weeks ago, I met with 175 brokers and managers at our management retreat in Huntington Beach. And it was an interesting meeting because for the first time, we had 165 people on the roster to attend and 175 showed up for the event. We actually had more people attend and they actually paid a fee to be there. So congratulations to all your brokers and managers for attending. And I started the 2-day event by sharing with them something that is a huge dilemma for you as a real estate salesperson today. And I want to try to help you solve the dilemma because see, obviously, there's a couple of issues that have to be looked at every day as a professional real estate agent. Obviously, one of the issues is, should I take the path of least resistance in building a business? And of course, in real estate today, there's 100 paths that you could take and follow to build your business. And the question is, which path are you going to take? Obviously, we teach a very specific path to productivity, listing, sales, and profit, but there's 100 paths. So what I did with the managers is I said, okay, let's look at the 7 things that are being offered up to you as an agent today, and let's try to decide which path we're going to take, because the truth is, you can take any one of these 7 paths and probably do some business. But there's only a couple of paths that will lead you to high levels of productivity. And I'm assuming, because if I was sitting in front of you, I'd say, shake your head yes if you want to make a lot more money. And of course, everybody shakes their head yes until we get to the part of telling you what you have to do to make more money. I can share with you what you have to do, and then of course, it's your ability to go out and do them. So I took the managers and brokers and said, listen, every agent you talk to in your office, discover which path they're on, discover which trail they're taking, so we can guide them in a direction to help them become more productive. So in no order of importance, here's the 7 paths that are being offered to you today. Path number 1 is the path of branding and marketing yourself to become some kind of a star or a hero in your marketplace. Now, each of you know somebody that is spending $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month in marketing and advertising programs to brand themselves as the agent that every seller should call. So I want to ask you a couple questions to think about, and I want you to think about them very carefully. If you go out and knock on doors to buy owners expireds, if you go to your centers of influence, go to your past clients who just listed, just sold, a certain portion of those people, of course, are going to recognize you. But if you do just listed, just sold, how many people, when you knock on the door, hi, my name is Mike Ferry with Blank Real Estate Company, how many people are going to say, oh yeah, I've seen all your ads, I've seen all your marketing, I've seen your billboards, your bus benches, I've got all your mailings. See, the truth is, you can't make enough money to spend enough money to have that kind of response when you call somebody. See, the fallacy is of you becoming a brand in your market is almost impossible. Oh yeah, there's agents that do it, but the question is, does anybody really recognize who they are? Because I've seen agents all over California, Nevada, Arizona, all over the country that spend virtually hundreds of thousands of dollars a year branding themselves, and still 98% of the public doesn't know who they are. So my question is, if you're going to be an agent that uses path number 1 of getting listings and making sales through branding and marketing, are you in a position to spend the money required to make it happen? And how big a budget do you have to make that happen? The second path you can take is one that I just can't figure out to save my life. And that is the path of buying leads off the internet. Which, by the way, I saw a report in, I think it was USA Today or one of the business magazines, that Zillow, which has done a phenomenal job on getting agents to buy leads, has like 52,000 customers, real estate agents like yourself, buying leads every day from the internet leads that they generate. 52,000 people paying $200,000, $500,000, $700,000 a month. Unbelievable. Are most of those leads buyers or sellers? And the answer is they're sellers. Excuse me, the answer is they're buyers, of course. And do you really need more buyers? If you want to keep productivity down, spend your time with buyers. You want to increase productivity, spend your time with sellers. But Mike, it's harder to get listings than it is to make sales when you have these buyers. You're right. Making a sale to a buyer is easier. The trouble is we don't have the inventory today to support the amount of sales that we could make. So the answer is, and you've heard me say this for months on end, do you want to be the employer or the employee? Do you want to control the inventory or be controlled by somebody who controls the inventory? The trouble with buying leads off the internet, it's mostly buyer leads. How many more buyer leads do you need? But what I get a kick out of is all these great internet lead generation companies call you, they sell you by making a cold call. They sell you on a service that teaches you don't have to cold call again. Where's the fallacy in that deal? I'm going to call you on a cold call, sell you a system so you don't have to cold call again, and the very methodology they used to get you to buy was what I'm trying to get you to go do. The third method or path you could take, which is very common, is the traditional aspects of real estate. The old-fashioned geographic farming. Obviously, the open houses. I saw a report come across my desk a couple days ago from one of our competitors, the 6 ways to build a huge business. Hold a mega open house. Spend more time in your geographic farm. Wait a minute. Now, they're acting like this is something new. This has been around since dirt was discovered, since the beginning of real estate. Very traditional. What's the problem with open houses and farming, etc.? Well, farming is a very tedious, very slow, and very old-fashioned ways of building a relationship within a geographic farm. So if they ever decide to sell, they pick you. The resident experts on farming will tell you it takes 18 months to 24 months of you grinding it out day after day to get your geographic farm to pay off for you. Can you afford to spend the next 18 to 24 months in your geographic farm passing out postcards and pumpkins, hoping to get a lead? Open houses, you and I both know the odds of a person buying the open house that you are sitting on is minimal at best. Well, Mike, I can create some leads for more buyers. Besides, you're holding open house on Sunday. That's supposed to be a day of rest. Give yourself a break. The fourth path, which is something I just don't understand today, is buying listing appointments from listing appointment generator companies. And there's a lot of them running around the country today. They're willing to sell you. You give me $2,500 or $5,000 or $10,000 up front, and I'm going to put my sales team on the floor. They're going to be calling into your market, setting up appointments for you. Do you honestly believe that's going to take place? I just had an email a couple days ago from one of our clients, and he said to start the email, Mike, I am so sorry to admit to you that I bought one of these crazy listing generation systems. And I paid $2,500 or $5,000 up front. In the first 7 months, I got 3 appointments set by them. I called and pre-qualified. Not one of the 3 had ever heard of me. Not one of the 3 even wanted to sell their home. What a waste of time. And then he named the company. Sad, isn't it? But this is what goes on today. Path of least resistance. Number 5, the approach most agents take to get business today: sit in the office, sit in your home and wait for somebody to call you. Do you honestly think you can make a reasonable living sitting and waiting for people to call you? Because if you do, you don't want much of a living. Okay, now yes, let's give up here, Mike. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands of the fact that if you want to do 2 or 3 deals a year, sit and wait. Somebody may call you. Are you telling me that your goal is to do 2 or 3 deals a year? I hope they're $5 million homes. That's for darn sure. The next method, which is very common taught today, which is work only your past client center of influence database. 100% of your business should come out of your database. Problem, most agents don't have a database big enough to get 100% of the business out of. Do you realize you have to have 500, 700, 800 names in a database of people that know who you are? Get off that nonsense that every person you meet, you stuff them in your database to build your database. Because then when you call them back, they don't know you, you don't know them. A database, past clients, people you've listed and sold homes to, centers of influence, people that know you on a first name basis and you know. It takes a substantial database of 300 minimum, 500, 700 to get enough referrals out of them. And then you have to have the courage to call them all the time. And then path number 7, should you do something as disciplined as follow the Mike Ferry sales system? The problem with what I teach, it's hard work. It's hard work. I had a wonderful phone call from a coaching client 2 minutes before I walked in the studio. And the person said, Mike, you're such a stud. I went, whoa. You know, at age 69, I'll be 69 in a couple weeks. I'm called a lot of things, but I've never been called a stud before. That's not what I am. And I said, why would you say that? Because you're willing to work so hard every day to grind out and help us. Well, I have only one job, to help you. That's it. Now, you may not like what I have to say, but you can't beat the work ethic. And what I'm trying to incorporate into you is the work ethic, so sellers look at you and say, you're the agent because of your work ethic. Teaching the Mike Ferry sales system, managing your time, getting involved in prospecting, doing good lead follow-up, pre-qualifying, learning and studying a strong listing presentation, knowing how to show property, handling objections, closing the sale, negotiating contracts, starting all over again every day. It's hard work. But guess what? The best agents are the ones that work the hardest. Look at the last several weeks of the blueprint, and I interrupted the blueprints this week to go through this routine with you today, and I'll go back to the blueprints again next week. Look at the work the people put in and look at the payoff. Hey, by the way, some of you, I found out, was shocking to me. I mean, quite honestly, I couldn't believe this when I found this out. Some of you, I discovered, are not registered to go to the Superstar Retreat in July in Las Vegas. Gosh, I was shocked that some of you weren't registered. Now, watch. Do you want information to become the best listing agent possible? If the answer is yes, spend 4 days, the end of July, with Mike Ferry in Las Vegas. The best agents, the best material, and the best production all comes together for those 4 days. We want you there. Call our office today. Call 702-982-6260. Pick up the phone and call the office. Get registered. Well, Mike, nobody from the office is going. You know, we're Brad Buffini fans, and we're Tom Ferry fans, and we're this fan and that fan. I don't give a darn whose fan you are. If you want to be the best, you work with the best. Otherwise, you have to work with the rest. See some of you in Las Vegas. See all of you next week. Have a great week.